Vandeham.
The following is a class on Nectar of Devotion 8, given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on 28 October 1972 in Vrindavan.
Shri Gurum Vaishnava.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu compared bhakti as a great ocean. So, when he was speaking before Rupa Goswami, he said that it is just like an ocean, so I will take a drop of it and you taste it and you will understand what is this ocean. Just like tasting one drop of seawater, we can understand the taste of the whole ocean. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described a small portion of Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu, Bhakti Rasa Amrita. Bhakti, devotion service, there is a rasa, taste. And the taste is Amrita, eternal. Here also, we have got taste for any relationship. Just like we have got our relationship with master and servant. So this relationship is a perverted reflection of the real master and servant. Here it is perverted because the master also does not love the servant and the servant also does not love the master. The servant serves the master so long there is payment. If the payment is stopped, then no more the servant will be available. But in the eternal world, the Krishna servant, so that is eternal, without any payment. Mama janmani janmani sare bhavatad bhakti rahoituki. Ahoituki. The servants of God or Krishna, they serve Krishna not for any material gain. Ahoituki, therefore this word is used. Ahoituki, without any cause or motive. That is real bhakti. Therefore, this bhakti word is applicable only in relationship with God or Krishna. In the material world, there cannot be any use of the word bhakti because here the so-called devotion service is motivated. So this bhakti word is monopolized by Krishna and nobody else. Go on.
The authorized description of bhakti for devotional service, following in the footsteps of previous acharyas, can be summarized in the following statement of Srila Rupa Goswami. Quote, first-class devotional service is known by one's tendency to be fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, serving the Lord favorably. Unquote.
Yeah. Annavilasita sunnam jnana karma anavritam anukullena krishnanushilanam bhakti uttama. This is the first statement of bhakti given by Srila Rupa Goswami. First class devotional service is known by one's tendency to be fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, serving the Lord favorably, not unfavorably. Anukul pratikul. anukullasa sankalpa. Pratikullam vivarjana. Bhakti means we should simply accept what is favorable to Krishna. What is not favorable to Krishna, that we shall not accept. Just like Arjuna, in the beginning, he declined to fight. He was thinking favorable to his own senses, that if I kill my brother, grandfather, nephews, those who are on the other side, they have come to fight with me, so I can kill them, I can own victory over them, but what is the profit? If my relatives, friends and all others die, then what is the use of my become victorious? That was it. That means he was thinking in his favor. Krishna wanted that you must fight. You are a Kshatriya. It is your duty to fight. You are my friend. If you go away, fly away from this battlefield, what people will say? That Krishna's friend has gone. So, this is not good. So, when he could not be convinced, then Krishna had to speak the whole Bhagavad Gita. Then after hearing Bhagavad Gita, Krishna inquired from Arjuna, what is your decision now? Are you going to fight or not? Arjuna said, yes, my illusion is over. Nasto moha sati labdya tat prasadena madhusudan. So, karise bhajananta. Yes, I shall fight. So this is favorable to Krishna. So we have to see what is favorable to Krishna, not sense gratification, not favorable to me, or to my country, or to my society. No self-interest, only Krishna's interest. That is what. So by fighting, Arjuna became a great devotee. Bhaktosi, priyosi me. Krishna certified that you are my greatest devotee. You are my very confidential friend. But what did he do? He did not read Vedanta philosophy. He was a grihastha, a king, engaged in fighting. He knew how to fight only. He did not know what is Vedanta philosophy. But still, he became a great devotee of Krishna, Bhaktosi. So what is the criterion? The criterion is that he fought favorably. He did favorably to Krishna consciousness. That is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. What is the difference between calm and calm means lust and love? Kama and prema. Prema is love and kama is lust. It appears similar. In the material world, lust is going on in the name of love. A boy loves a girl loves a boy. But actually, the boy also wants sense gratification and the girls also want sense gratification. That is not love. As soon as there is any difficulty and sense gratification, immediately there is divorce. So there is no love. There is only lust. In the material world, there is no love. Therefore, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, he has distinguished between love and lust. He says, Atmendriya Tripti Vansha Tar Naam Kam. When you want to satisfy your senses, that is called lust. Krishnendriya Tripti Vansha Dhare Prem Naam. When you want to satisfy the senses of Krishna, that is love. Just like Arjuna. In the beginning, he wanted to satisfy his own senses. I shall not fight. Because if the other party, my brothers and grandfathers, they leave, I shall be happy. So that is calm. That is not prem. But when he agreed to fight, because Krishna wanted it, nimitta matra bhavasabhasachin. So, that is prem. So Krishna prem can be executed in so many ways. Simply Krishna should be satisfied. That is prem. That is Krishna consciousness. So at the present moment, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita wanted Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Saranam Braja. Krishna wanted Arjuna. Arjuna means everyone. That they should surrender to Krishna and be engaged in the service of Krishna. So people, Krishna, when you speak of Krishna, means God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this Krishna consciousness movement is propagating to serve Krishna. When Krishna was present, he demanded that you surrender unto me. And we are preaching, you surrender unto Krishna. What is the difference? There is no difference. So, the same thing, what was spoken 5,000 years ago by Krishna personally, we Krishna conscious men, because we are known in the world as Hare Krishna people. They write in the newspaper, the Hare Krishna people. So, our preaching is the same. We don't change. We present therefore Bhagavad Gita as it is. Krishna says that everyone should surrender unto him. We are preaching the same philosophy, that you surrender to Krishna. Krishna says, Manvana bhavamad bhakta madhyaji mang namaskuru. We say the same thing. We ask everyone that you become a devotee of Krishna, you think of Krishna constantly, you worship Krishna, you offer your obeisances unto Krishna. So this is favorable. If we preach what Krishna said 5,000 years ago, that is favorable. That is Krishna consciousness. To act in favor of Krishna means Krishna consciousness movement. Go on.
The purport is that one may also be in Krishna consciousness unfavorably, but that cannot be counted as pure devotional service. Pure devotional service should be free from the desire for any material benefit or for sense gratification, as these desires are cultivated through fruitive activities and philosophical speculation.
Yes. Sense gratification, as I was explaining a minute before, Chaitanya Chaitamritakar says, Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakali Asant. Bhukti. Bhukti means karmis. They want sense enjoyment. So long they live here in this body, they enjoy their senses to the topmost and they make provision for the next life to be elevated in the heavenly planet, to enjoy in the Nandan Kanan with the demigods. More standard of living, enjoyment, more opulent. That is the desire of the karmis. Gyanis, they say Brahma Sattva Jagan Mithya. this world is false, there is no enjoyment, actual enjoyment to merge into the existence of Brahma. So that is also a subtle sense enjoyment. Leave this world and enter into Brahma, then you feel happy. So that is also sense enjoyment. Similarly, yogis, they also want power, material power. Anima, Lakhima, Siddhi, Ashta Siddhi. So if you have some power, you can fly in the air, you can walk over the water, you can get anything you desire immediately. These are yoga siddhis. So that is also satisfying own sense gratification. So, except bhakti, everything is for sense gratification. That is unfavorable. Krishna does not want to satisfy anyone's sense. That is not Krishna's business. Krishna is the supreme. He wants everyone to serve him. He is not going to serve anyone. That is Krishna's position. Therefore, anyone who serves Krishna and preaches this philosophy to serve Krishna, that is favorable. Anukullena Krishna Anusilaram. Go on.
Generally, people are engaged in different activities to get some material profit, while most philosophers are engaged in proposing transcendental realization through volumes of word jugglery and speculation. Pure devotional service must always be free from such primitive activities and philosophical speculations. One has to learn Krishna consciousness or pure devotional service.
Yes, Jnana Karma Dhanabritam. Pure devotional service should be uncovered by the motive of Nidbhed Brahmanusandhana. The motive of karma and motive of jnana. That is pure devotional service. No motive. Anna vilasita sunnam jnana karma dhanam. Anukullena Krishna anusilanam. Simply to do things which Krishna wants to do. That is bhakti. That is pure bhakti. Go on.
One has to learn Krishna consciousness or devotional service from the authorities by spontaneous loving service.
Spontaneous. This service should be spontaneous, not forced. Just like a father loves his son spontaneously, a young man likes to love a young girl spontaneously. So bhakti should be like that. As soon as one hears the name of Krishna, immediately, spontaneously, he should be ready to serve him. That is pure devotion. Not that force. In the beginning, we have to force that you rise early in the morning. There is Mangalaratri. You have to perform it. But when this function will be done spontaneously, this is the time to offer Mangalarati to my Lord. That is wanted. That is wanted. Not that it is a heavy burden to rise early in the morning and to offer Mangalarati. That is not spontaneous. But one has to act under the direction of spiritual master and Shastra, which is called Vidhi Bhakti, regulated devotional service. So after one being trained in regulative devotional service, he comes to the platform of spontaneous service. We have got an example in this connection. Formerly, there was child marriage. Boys and girls were married at the age of 10 years, 12 years. So, at that time, there was no practically love. But the guardians, they induce the girl to go and offer her husband some eatables, to give her some service. In this way, that was just like regulated. But when they actually come in the platform or attraction, there is no need of direction. So, the spontaneous love, when spontaneously we shall serve Krishna, without any obligation, without any force, that is equal. Spontaneous love, Ragamarga. One.
This devotional service is a sort of cultivation. It is not simply inaction for people who like to be inactive or devote their time to silent meditation. There are many different methods for people who want this, but cultivation of Krishna consciousness is different. The particular word used by Srila Rupa Goswami in this connection is anushilana, a cultivation by following the predecessor teachers or acharyas. As soon as we say cultivation, we must refer to activity. Without activity, consciousness alone cannot help us.
Yes. People say that inactivity, silence, that is perfection. But no, in bhakti, cultivation, there is no such thing, silence. All is active. The same example can be given that Arjuna became devotee not by silence, but by being active. Activity, spontaneous activity. I have to do this. My Lord will be pleased. So I have to do this. Activity. But if I have no idea what is Lord, what does He want, how He is pleased, if we do not know all these things, naturally there will be no activity. But one who knows what is this Lord, what does He want, what is my relationship with Him, then there is activity. So actually, that bhakti is not silence. Bhakti is activity. Just like personally, up to 70 years, I was practically doing nothing. But at the age of 70 years, by the grace of God, Krishna, there was an inspiration. I went to a Western country, not to sit down there silent. So bhakti, the path of bhakti, is not inactivity. Actual activity begins when one is situated on devotional service. It is explained in the Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. When one is Brahma Bhuta, self-realized, he is Prasannatma, joyful, Anandamaya. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankati. He has no desire to fulfill, neither he has lamentation. Here in the material world, we hanker after things which we do not possess. I want this, I want that. And we cry when the thing is lost. Na sochati. But a Brahma Bhuta, when one is self-realized, when one knows that he is not this body, his spirit soul, he is part and parcel of Brahma, at that time he becomes joyful. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sojati nakam. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu. And he sees everyone on the equal footing, because Brahma realized, he knows everyone is not this body, his spirit soul, part and parcel of Supreme Brahma. This position, when one comes to this position, Brahma Bhuta state, Mad Bhakti Lavate Param, that is the state to be promoted to the Brahma activity. The Nidvishes, impersonalists, they want to stop activity. But actually, Bhagavan, Krishna says that real activity begins when one is self-realized, one is situated in Brahma realization. Brahma realization does not mean to stop. Brahma realization means to act for Krishna, not for sense gratification. That is Brahma realization. Mad bhakti lavate param. And in that bhakti stage, bhaktya mam avijanati javan jasyami tattva. Actually, simply by executing devotional service, being freed from all material contamination. When one is engaged in devotional service, bhakti, that process, bhakti process, can help one to understand what is God. Bhaktya mam avijanati. It is not said that by karmana mam avijanati. No. Jnanena mam avijanati. Avijanati. Tattata. If one wants to know God in truth, then he must take to devotional service. And this devotional service, actual devotional service, begins when one is Brahma realized. So, one may argue, does it mean that all the bhaktas we see, they are not even educated? How he has realized Brahma? That answer is given in the Bhagavad Gita. That Mancha vicharini bhakti yogena ja sevate sagunan samatitayitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. This very platform of serving Krishna, of Vyabhicharini, without any adulteration, means without any motive. When one is engaged in Krishna's service, without any motive, not that I establish a deity in the temple with a motive that people will come, will give money, and I shall make it a path of earning my livelihood. That is not devotion. Devotion is without any motive. Annavilasita sunna. So, without any motive, when one is engaged in devotional service, that is Brahma Bhuta stage. That is liberated stage. According to Bhagavad, liberation, mukti means to be situated in one's constitutional position. That is called mukti. Mukti hitya annatha rupam sarupena avasthit. Hitya annatharu. Now, because we are designated, we have got this body designation. Therefore, we are situated in different positions. Somebody is working for his family. Somebody is working for his community. Somebody is working for his nation. But this is annatharupam. This is depending on the bodily designation. I am American, I am Indian. Therefore, I must sacrifice everything for my country, for my nation. This is annatharupam. And when we engage ourselves that I am Krishna's part and parcel, Krishna is my master, I am his eternal servant, I must work for Krishna. That is mukti. That is liberation. So anyone who is working for spreading Krishna consciousness, he has no other motive than to satisfy Krishna. He has no other motive than to satisfy the representative of Krishna. Therefore they are hitya annatharupa. These European American boys, they are working for Krishna. It is practical. They are not working for their community, country or nation. Neither Krishna is their God. According to common understanding, In the dictionary it is said Krishna is Hindu God. But they are not working for Hindu God. They are working for Krishna. Krishna says that Sarvajonishu Kaunteya Sambhavanti Murte Tasang Mahajjani Brahma Hang Bidapida. They have understood this philosophy. That Krishna is neither Indian nor Hindu or this or that. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Father of everyone. They have understood in this spirit. Therefore they are working for Krishna without any motive. This is practical. Not only Europe and everywhere. Everywhere. All over the world. Why? Because Krishna consciousness is there in everybody. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti. This devotional service of Krishna is dormant in everyone. It has to be awakened. That's all. Savanadi Shuddha Chitte Karayuda. Simply by hearing. Sannatang Sagata Krishna Punna Savana Kirtana. If you simply hear Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, from the representative of Krishna, that's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, directed Bhagavat Paro Giya Bhagavat Sthan. One should hear about Bhagavat from the devotee. There are two kinds of Bhagavat, the book Bhagavata and the person Bhagavat. So we have to relish the Srimad Bhagavatam, the contents of Srimad Bhagavatam from a devotee who is self-realized. Then it will be very nice. Satang prasangat mama bija sangvida bhavanti ritkarna rasayana katha. When you hear about Krishna from a Krishna devotee, it becomes very pleasing to the ear and the heart. Ritkarna rasayana katha. Therefore, to become Krishna conscious, to become a devotee of Krishna, tad vijnanatham sa gurumeva vigachet, tad vidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. This is the process. So, this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is the science of devotional service. If one wants to become a devotee of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when you speak of Krishna, Krishna means all Vishnu forms. All Vishnu forms. Ramadi Murti Sukala Niyamena Tishthan Nana Avataram Akarat Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Sayang Samabhavat Parama Pumanaj. All incarnations, they are also Krishna, expansion of Krishna. But Krishna, this personality of God Krishna, he is the Supreme Person. Ishara Parama Krishna. So these things are explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, as they are in the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. The summary, the juice of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, devotional service is given in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. We have translated this book as Nectar of Devotion, and you will be pleased to hear that in some of the universities in USA, this book has been recommended as study book in the religious class. They are now reading regularly. So we shall stop now, it is dark. There is no light. Hare Krishna. Thank you.